Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You can probably get her back.
Okay. I don't want to try to
I know.
figure out how to...
I know.
So this is, I just want to say this, and I don't want to start like a big stress, but this is kind of one of the things with the electronics, like, what is the balance of, like, I totally want to be respectful of the electronics. At the same time, it keeps her from opportunities.
Yeah.
That was
timing
kind
is part of it too.
part of
Like
it.
when we do this stuff, it's later in the day.
Yeah.
Because she always has her breakfast. She has her iPad. She has a certain
like her
block
schedule
of time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
Okay.
it's easier and she's less squirrely.
Got it. Okay. But that was kind of, this
Yeah,
is
I
kind
understand
of
what you're saying.
that was my whole original point, is like, it kind of, it's challenging. Not that, you know, this was okay, but I think it's like ready to go back. But I know she has a routine.
When we watch some videos where we do stuff together, she doesn't do this.
Yes, I know. No, I know. And you know what? That's actually really cool. Like, I kind of like that she's, you want some? Here, I'll put some in a little cup for you.
And I kind of prepare her throughout the day too. Like I'll say, oh, let's make cookies today, and
I'll give you
remind her,
some.
and then she's really ready.
One for you. And one for mommy. I totally didn't do my plan, but that's okay, because this is part of guiding. Like, sometimes you have to, like, adjust and... Well, you can do it. For mommy. Oh, for me too? We can make a third. Happy birthday, Mom.
Oh, thank you.
Birthday. Can we make another one? Yeah. Okay, here, I'll hold the cup.
4. It's for you.
Oh, thank you. That's so nice. I appreciate that. This one's for me.
Yeah, for you.
Oh, thank you. But anyway, yeah, so that's okay. I just adjusted my plan based on her, and I wanted to make sure we could sort of have a back and forth, but not, you know, forcey or just respecting too, because I know the whole issue. It's like, okay, anytime someone wants me to do something, I'm on the pad, and it's like, I have to stop. At the same time, it is sort of that tricky balance of, but I understand she has a schedule. But at the same time, part of being dynamic is sometimes making the adjustment, which I think she did okay, considering if this is her normal iPad time. She was willing to co-regulate, but I could see where that wasn't the right mind space to really expand on what I wanted to, but that's okay. It's still a good practice for her, even being like a little distracted or a little dysregulated, that she can still come back on her own. I kind of purposely didn't give her a lot of, like, I really wanted her to come back on her own without me saying too much, just so she could realize it. Because there's a lot of power in being dysregulated and being, you know, thinking of something else and shifting your own mind without somebody really telling you or prompting too much. So I was kind of using that as a little bit of an opportunity. And then it also gave opportunities to, what I purposely didn't do was, though, it's set up, I could have done the 3 plates all at once, but I kind of wanted to add a little bit of a process, like we did an M, we needed something for the O, just to kind of give a little bit of that. But I really, honestly, what was really kind of cool to me is that she was, I mean, just being, I think, the guidance from you and you kind of guiding her with the iPad was so much more like appropriate than for me to have to do that. Because again, for that whole purpose of all the years of therapy where these people come in, and so I'm glad that it went that way. I wouldn't always maybe do it that way, but under the past circumstances and the situations, you know, she's had, as far as like that memory, the associative memory, like a person comes in that's not my family, and now I'm being, the things I like are being disrupted type of thing. And I know that's a really strong memory for her. So, but I was really pleased that you guys, when you talked to her, it was very playful too.
Yeah.
She was like, playing
usually
with you
goes
about
better
it.
if I can kind of, because I don't want her to think that I'm just being,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I'm not trying to be mean. Like,
Of
I'm
course
not.
not.
Trying to be,
Right. Well, and the
So if I make
whole
it a little playful.
yeah. Well, the whole thing that
change the mood.
yeah. Well, I really saw that because she was like giggling and stuff. The thing that I think, and I don't know, this was kind of where too, like my original thinking about the electronic. It's not so much about the iPad, like doing it, not doing it. It's about how can we create the best mind space for her to really be present. And I understand, like you said, I've seen a million videos of you guys where she is very present. And I understand she has like that schedule where maybe later in the day is a better focus time for her. At the same time, I can't help but wonder, like, if she did just have periods of the day that weren't attached to doing something specific, but were just like, you know, time to put the iPad for a nap or to sleep, just at random, so that it's not always before like an activity like this. But I know that, I mean, there's pros and cons of that, and it's kind of hard to
I just don't see the
feel
point in it. Like,
yeah. Well, the point to me would be is that it gives a
compliance.
different memory. Well, to get her so that it kind of breaks the pattern of memory where someone always comes, like a person comes and asks me to stop it every time versus there are just times where I do stop it. It's not specific to when a person comes.
yeah, but when her and I are doing stuff together, it's not someone coming. It's just us
Yeah.
doing stuff together.
Oh, I see what, and it's not an issue is what you mean.
No.
Oh, okay. Well then, yeah, that's the difference. So yeah, no, but well, okay, well that's
It's just,
just
this is her, you know, it's just
Yeah.
like, to me I look at it like this particular time is like when somebody wakes up every morning. Everybody
Yeah.
has like their morning
thing,
stuff.
you know?
Yeah. They get up, they have their
Yeah.
coffee, they
yeah.
read the paper, and
Do
read
whatever
paper
they
anymore,
do.
but you know what I mean?
Read online news.
Yeah, check their Facebook,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And this is like when she does those things.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's
I don't
important
know.
to know. But that also makes it more like that moment where you guys were like, pause, no pause, pause. I really like that because that was like, I mean, I feel like that was something like any kid would do. I mean, here's the thing. Sometimes people don't want to do things, and I totally get that. I don't want to do things sometimes. And especially when it's not like, I don't know, like someone you're super close with, or you don't really know if it's going to be fun, like from a kid perspective. So that's okay. No, it's always good learning. And
So what was different, like compared to what we've been doing?
well, I didn't really quite get across what I wanted to be different because I think in the moment I was just trying to give her a little more regulation because I felt like she was a little more quick to disconnect. So, I mean, a few things would be just expanding things that I might normally have set up already, but to include her in expanding that. So, like with plates, and again, I didn't really do it how I intended it, but I felt like she needed a little bit more.
You gonna eat a blueberry?
support.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
It's so cool what you made too. You guys did a good job. It's so pretty with the sprinkles.
Yeah. So, okay. So yeah, what I intended versus how it played out was different. Including her like in the process. So if in your mind you're like, oh, you know, we need another plate. Instead of maybe doing it on your own,
Yeah.
is sharing that, but throughout the whole process, like from beginning till more of the end. And maybe you are doing some of that.
So more opportunities to do that.
More opportunities. So transferring more of the thinking to her. So like in your mind, if you're like, oh, we're gonna need this, this, and this, you might purposely leave out a couple things on purpose so that it's another thinking opportunity in the process to notice like, oh no, we don't have.
I try and do that.
Okay.
So just more of the same
Well,
concept.
the same concept, but kind of expanding it to the beginning parts. Where I know in the beginning it was like, let's have everything set up really clear for her. Maybe a little bit less of that. But so she has an opportunity to participate in setting up the process or deconstructing the process. So it's a little less like of the front work on your end where you've set everything up a little bit more clearly. So in this case, the best I felt I could do in the moment was, the one plate. At least it gave her a little bit of structure. And if she was in a different, like if it was a different time or she was differently regulated, maybe I wouldn't have done it that way. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, we have the M plate. Now we need an O plate. And instead of me going to get it, which I kind of did here, I did like a halfway, I would give her an opportunity to think, oh, an O plate. Oh, okay, So I stepped in a little bit more here only because I could feel like we weren't as connected as I felt like we could have been. So, does that make sense? To do
So
that?
like when we do, like specifically when we do things in the kitchen, recipes and stuff, I do have the ingredients out.
So yeah, so I might.
And then I'll be like, oh, we need sugar, and then she has to find it. Or we need, and she does that in the forefront.
Right.
But
so,
it's not like I have her measuring everything.
Yeah, so I might scale that to expand the process. You could kind of scale that back even, and have her part of getting the ingredients too. Just to kind of expand that. That would be an example of expanding.
Okay.
Yeah. So that way it's like from like conception, oh, we're gonna bake this cake, and there's nothing out. It's like, oh, we need stuff. Oh, okay, mommy can get the eggs, and I'll get the sugar, whatever. So that would be the expansion piece. Yeah. So expanding the process and the setup, and also on the cleanup just provides a natural opportunity because it's just part of what you're doing. So it's not anything artificial, it's just the real life. Like, if we're gonna make a cake, like, we need stuff, and then at the end, like, oh my gosh, we have all this stuff out, that type of thing. Yeah. But, so the other thing, I don't know if you noticed too, is like, I tried to set up when things might have been a little stuck or unclear. Like I started either kind of modeling like what I did now, like I'll show you, and I know you do that. The other thing was with like the letters, I started doing like a sound, like oh, and every time we put one, just to kind of keep a pattern in her mind, like the O's, because if she's thinking about something else, it can be hard, but that might give her some kind of pattern. So that was another thing that I did, just because I felt like it might help her organize a little bit. And I saw her smile a few times. I think she thought it was just like funny or something. But yeah, so I realized it was hard to make out the M's. But
yeah.
It was
I think
sort of
she was a little nervous when she kept kind of walking away. I could tell she was kind of nervous because I don't think she understood. It's hard to see how to make an M.
I know. But she handled it
doesn't
really
like to do
well.
things wrong, so.
Well, she handled it really well, actually. And the cool thing is, because kind of visualizing MOM, I think she handled it. So anyway, well, that was good, like, just experience overall. Like, it didn't go, like, exactly how I planned, but that's okay, that's real life. It's not about I have to do my plan, it's more like where's she at and how can I adjust, and still, it's like when things feel a little bit in disarray, you always want to go back to co-regulation, which is what I tried to do. That's always the foundation, so I felt like, okay, scrapping that plan and just starting like really foundational.